Yo, what's good? It's none iller. You are now tuned in to another episode of Moment of Knowledge on the Mogul Mined Podcast. Check this out. Today, I don't want to just talk about greatness. I don't want to talk about failures. Today, I want to talk about average. But I want to talk about how average is just as close to the bottom in failure as it is to the top in success. So a lot of times when you say what the average people do, or this is the average thing, you're saying this is that safe spot in the middle to where you just fall in where, hey, average is what everybody does, right? But it's also taking some of the top, some of the bottom, and just kind of meeting in the middle. You don't want to be average. Or maybe you do. But I'm going to be honest. If you wanted to be average, you probably wouldn't be tuning into this podcast. That's what I'm here for. Because I don't want to be average. So I know you don't want to be average. And let me say an explanation of some of this. I feel like it's easy to do what others do. But then you can't be mad if you get the results others get. Now, not everyone's going to make the sacrifices. Not everyone's going to do what you need to do to go above and beyond. You working out, not everyone's going to take the extra effort. You studying, not everyone's going to take the extra effort. Everybody doesn't want the A. Average would be C. Some people want C. C is passing. That's cool. But I tell you what, nobody gets excited when they see C's on paper. I mean, I'm going to take that back, actually. You get excited when you expect to fail and you see C's on paper. But failure is a good thing. Like, I can use school analogies. Like, I have my degrees. And honestly, when I used to fail, I hated it. I hated it more if it was something that I wanted to do. Something that I felt I was good at. This thing called life, you're supposed to feel you're good at it. You want to fail when you plan on keep going, because it's not failing at that point, right? It's just a stepping stone. So that's when you want to fail. But you don't want to fail and give up. That's failure. That's not what you want. So when you're looking at average, you don't want to be in that group. Average is not the highlight reels. Average is not the people who are remembered. Now, you can do certain things when you want to. You can make a living with average. Check to check. Surviving. You got it. You got that. Average people have a living. Depending on where you live, too. California average may not cut it how you want it to. It's expensive. Very expensive. Now, average, though, is just one of those things. Imagine being called average. Now, it's not always the best feeling. And I say that because there's a lot of pressure on you when you want to step outside of being average. You got to show up. You got to show out. You got to show them how it's done. You got to be great. You got to be consistent every single time. That is your job. That is your role. That's what you're supposed to do. If you are average, it doesn't stand a chance in your life. But that's not what you're here for. So that's not what you're supposed to be doing. What you're supposed to be doing is figuring out how to be great. Figuring out how to be better. Let me tell you a technique that I learned. Well, that I didn't say I learned. It's what I do is what I apply. I take things apart. I see something, I want to know how it's done. Like I'm ferocious with it. That's just me. I hear a dope song. I do music, right? I hear a dope song. I'm listening. I hear the production. I hear the melodies. I hear some of the flow patterns when I'm listening to rappers. I destruct it a little bit. I'm like, okay. I might play it back a little bit. I listen to the rhyme scheme. I'm like, oh, he flipped this 3 or 4 times in his bar. I didn't even know you can rhyme with that, you know. Granted, I mean, I know a lot about rhyming, but listen to some of the ad-libs, which are the background vocals. Listen to some of the techniques used. Okay, let me take this away. Let me go to look at marketing. And I'm just naming fields I deal with on a daily basis because it's what I love. It's the industries I'm in. I see somebody doing something with their marketing. I look at their audience. I look at what they're doing that appeals to the audience. What channels and avenue are they in? Like, deconstruct things. Go on YouTube. YouTube has a plethora of information. Look. Any topic you want. Search. Watch a couple videos. Use those as your mentors. You in a gym? You want to work on your biceps? Look at bicep workouts. Then look at how to maximize those bicep workouts. Then look at how to maximizing those bicep workouts. Meaning, do you work on those 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day? Do you need to rest? What else can you do? Other work exercises to where maybe it's not a bicep workout, maybe it's a chest workout and it still hits your biceps. Think deeper to executing your goals. The average person gets up and goes on about their business and they're cool with that. You know what is close to average, below average? Because when you're doing average things, the moment you fall off of average routine, you fall into below average. Let that sink in. If you have an off day on an average day, you are below average. If you don't deliver on an average day, you are below average. Let me paint an average day for you. You wake up, you throw on whatever clothes, you don't care how they look. You go to work, a job you don't want to be at. You give effort. Enough effort not to get fired, but nothing spectacular. You work in customer service. You don't want to deal with the people. You answer their questions, but you don't make them feel like they had an experience. Check the time. You get frustrated here and there. And you go home, complain about it, sit there for a second, and go, this is my life. And you chill, and that's it. It's a wrap. Maybe you put on some TV, maybe you whatever, and you're fine with that. But a day is done. You did a day of work. It's not much more needed. You don't care about advancing. You don't care about going further. You're just waiting for your check to come, so you can get up and you can repeat and do it the next day. So what small shifts will make that not average? Maybe you get up feeling good about yourself. You put on a nice outfit. You make yourself look presentable. You go into work and you do your best at your job that you can do. You're in customer service. You making the experience on point, whether they're wrong or not. You are happy to be at work. You are giving your all because you know what it means. Maybe it's not a job you want to be at, but the skills you're doing, you're training yourself to be so good at that position, at the next position, you're going to kill it. People come in your job looking for you. You encourage your team. Your boss comes to you first. Something happens, you're on top of it. You don't go, oh, that's not my job. You don't overlook it. You don't let somebody else pick it up. If you have an off day, you have an off day, but you still know how to get your game face on when it's time. You get home. Hey, you know what? Even the relaxing at home might still be a thing because not everybody wants to work when they get off work. I get it. But you understand you put in that work. Maybe you like, you know what? A couple more years here, I'll get a promotion. Or let me send some fillers and see what kind of jobs are open and maybe I can get in a higher position. Or maybe you talk about the kind of work you do afterwards. Maybe you got a couple friends in that industry. Maybe you don't. Maybe you talk to your significant other and tell them about your day in a good way. I had a great day at work. I got to help somebody out. You can't believe what happened at work and this and that. One main thing that separates below average from average is effort. One thing that separates average to above average is passion. If you're not putting the effort in, you're definitely not going to get average. If you're not putting the passion in, it's hard to get above average, because you have to be passionate with effort, with consistency, with actually giving, caring. And let me say, it's not easy. By any means, it's definitely not easy. But what you need to understand is, hey, this is what you're doing to do, right? Now go out there and get it done. The next time you tune into this podcast, I want you to have asked yourself, have you given that effort? Are you above average, average, or below average? Because this ain't the average podcast. Nothing about me is average. I know that. My real name is Diamond. That's on my birth certificate. I go by none illa. Translation for those who not everyone understands that. Ill is synonymous with sick. No one sicker than. I put myself in the mentality that every time I step in front of a scenario, I have to own it. I do this every day. It's not easy. Every day I have to do that. Even on my off days when I want to beat myself up because I'm like, man, you falling off. I get out of routine sometimes. It hurts sometimes, it does. But I make it happen. And you should too. Well, I like to give it quick and straightforward. I'm not going to hold y'all too long. But you know what you signed up for, right? Or if you don't, figure it out and then sign up for it. Thank you for tuning in to Moment of Knowledge. Y'all have a good one today. Go out there and enjoy your day. And if you've already enjoyed your day, have a good night. Enjoy your night.